What is it? Is there a purpose for the individual man politically? What Steiner would say for the individual man to do? Read Philosophy of Freedom?
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably he would center him in this cultural, spiritual art, poet realm. I mean, the Philosophy of Freedom is intended to basically free the individual from. This is where it's like Stirner a bit. Free the individual from outside compulsions and hindrances, but also from those inner ones that you have. Even perceptual ones, like his book, it goes pretty far that there's like a perceptual hindrance from the way we view reality, that you have to overcome that through what he calls like pure thinking. And this is where you can then get into the spiritual stuff. So like if I were to, he has so many different ideas, it's hard for me to say, but if I were to just pick something that he would be likely to agree with, perhaps, it's that the purpose of the human being, even politically, is art, is creative, is expressing the true individuality of what you are, uninhibited, unrestrained, like the essence of the individual. Because it's this, once you do that for him, it's not just you anymore. This is why it's not thought to be like a selfish thing, even though it could be argued that there's elements of that. As soon as this sort of free expression occurs, it then reconnects with like the ground of being, or the world all, which is all people, all things. And so you then have this, theoretically, I suppose, a different kind of mode of being, Like, for example, one of the things he says when he was having critiques about his three-folding idea, about like, how is this going to fix the problem now? They're shooting people in the streets. He says somewhere something like, his is not like an instrumental fixing like that what in his system, that people would be educated or developed in such a way that wouldn't then be a problem anymore. So there is this like this reorganization idea and this focus on liberating the individual in such a way somehow that is for him the purpose, and then that produces more utopic, or at least more better society.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a spiritual thread at the time, and we see this specifically with Gurdjieff as well, but it's a spiritual thread that I think carries through this notion of, the masses, and, this question of why is there ongoing wars, why do we never learn? The spiritual side seems to revert back to nothing can change until the individual changes. Or, almost as if, almost really to say, all those questions are complete nonsense until individuals turn inwards,
And that's why there's a tension, because that's what the anarchists are saying that, and a lot of spiritual groups are saying that, and there's this tension between the two of them about their resonances for sure, but can these fit together? Do they fit together, Yeah, this is a quote from a paper, from an article entitled "A Reflection on Mystical Anarchism in the Works of Gustav Landauer and Eric Voegelin," by Franziska Hoppen in the book Essays in Anarchism and Religion, Volume 1. So this is, the author is explaining Gustav Landauer's ideas, but they apply, in my opinion, directly to what Steiner says he went through in the 1890s. So here's the quote. Landauer concluded that the world, or ground of being, implicating those realms that lie beyond sense experience, intellect, and reason, is not something outside of the individual that can be explored from the separated position of the observer, but that it is rather already within the individual. The experience of being the world, participating in the ground of being, what Steiner refers to as the world all, that's me putting that in. This renders a distinction between an inside and an outside, an objective and a subjective, superfluous. The deeper the individual dives into himself, becoming the world, the more she also separates herself from the arche of reality, the laws and rules, with its supposed isolated, concrete, and autonomous bodies that form society. It is an anarchist inward movement. Landauer referred to this process of reuniting with the true reality as separation from false reality, which constitutes simultaneously a form of self-annihilation, because the imaginative I kills itself so that the world I can live. End quote.